we have to maintain the confidence in the system because it's a voluntary system of payment of our taxes.
Agreed.
This is a story that you need to know about. This is a story about which you need to be aware. In fact, you will not see this story on any of the mainstream media. ABC, CBS, CNN, even Fox News isn't going to cover this story. So the only way that we're going to get this news is through this video, which is why it's important that you forward this video or its URL to as many people as you can, because people need to know the truth that jury found out about last week. And that truth is that, first, there is no law that makes the average American citizen liable for the income tax. Second, that what is income is only the profit that is generated from some taxable activity. Third, that your earnings and wages cannot be separated into principal and profit or capital and profit, and therefore are not income as defined by the Supreme Court. And fourth, that your fundamental God-given right to earn a living through any lawful occupation, which has been recognized as being just as fundamental and just as basic and just as constitutionally protected as your freedom of speech and your freedom of religion, is not a taxable activity that is exempt from taxation by Congress or any other entity.
The government, they have nothing. Everything they get and they want to give to someone else, they have to steal it from somebody. That's called taxation. Is taxation theft in your mind?
Yes, it is.
Is there a law that requires people to file a 1040?
Not explicitly, but it's certainly implied.
Well, implied by force.
Yeah.
But is there a law?
I can't cite a law, no. I cannot.
You can't identify a law that requires the average person in America who earns a wage and works in private business to pay an income tax.
I've asked Congress, we've asked a lot of people in the IRS commissioners, helpers. They can't answer, because if they answer, the American people are going to know that this whole thing is a fraud.
You used to work for the IRS. What makes you say that most Americans don't have to pay income taxes?
Well, the sheer solidness of the evidence. I did about 2 years of investigation part-time while I was a special agent for the IRS, and really couldn't help but conclude that the evidence showed that most Americans weren't required to pay it, at least not according to the laws passed by Congress.
What is the evidence?
The evidence fills up dozens of binders and file drawers in my own home, but of course there's much more evidence than that. Evidence about liability statutes, what form is actually required by Americans to file. When you actually look at the statutes and regulations rather than just the IRS pamphlets, you learn that the income tax doesn't have quite the application that the IRS would lead the American people to believe. They compared tax avoidance to tax evasion, and tax avoidance, even according to the courts, is a legal method and something that people have a legal right and duty to engage in. And what the IRS is trying to do is blur the line between tax avoidance and tax evasion, and now they've come up with this new term called abusive tax avoidance. So basically, Americans are going to be targeted for harassment if they're engaging in legal conduct and making it difficult for the IRS by not bearing their financial souls to the agency.
It seems pretty aggressive. Why do you think you've been able to get away with not paying or filing your income taxes for so long?
Well, first of all, I've not gotten away with anything. I'm not hiding from anyone. I'm simply asking the IRS to show me the laws that apparently require me to do these things.